Complex projects demands a governance framework that is both robust and adaptable. Multi-stakeholder environments, shifting priorities, evolving risks, all of these require governance strategies that provide clarity, accountability, and flexibility. Successful governance in these contexts hinges on a deliberate balance between control and empowerment, so that decision-making is informed, timely, and aligned with strategic objectives. Today, we'll cover 5 leading strategies that can help you navigate complexity. 5 strategies sit at the center of this: tailored frameworks built for the specific project context rather than adopted generically. Adaptive governance, which holds structure and flexibility together as conditions change. Stakeholder engagement that is deliberate, two-way, and matched to each audience. Risk management embedded inside governance rather than run alongside it. And performance measurement with real accountability behind it. Start with the foundations. Complex project governance is not merely about oversight. It's a comprehensive system that integrates processes, roles, and responsibilities to guide projects toward their intended outcomes. The complexity arises from scale, from the diversity of participants, and from the dynamic nature of the environment, government departments, defense sectors, large infrastructure initiatives. So the foundational strategy is to define frameworks tailored to the specific project context rather than adopting generic models. That means assessing scope, stakeholder influence, regulatory requirements, and potential risks upfront. In infrastructure projects, governance has to accommodate regulatory compliance and community impact. In defense projects, it may prioritize security and confidentiality instead. 4 moves build that foundation. First, establish clear roles and responsibilities. Define who holds decision rights at each level, from executive sponsors through to project managers. Second, develop transparent reporting mechanisms. Progress, risks, and issues need to be communicated consistently and accurately. Third, integrate risk management into governance. Embed proactive risk identification and mitigation within the governance process itself. And fourth, foster stakeholder alignment. Create forums for regular engagement so expectations align and conflicts get resolved early. Together, these create a governance environment that supports informed decision-making and accountability. Complex projects are unpredictable, so the framework has to be adaptive. It should accommodate changes in scope, emerging risks, and evolving stakeholder needs without compromising control or accountability. 3 things make that work. Iterative review cycles. Monthly or quarterly governance reviews create the opportunity to adjust plans, reallocate resources, or escalate issues promptly. Bounded empowerment. Project teams get decision-making authority within defined boundaries, which accelerates responses to operational challenges. A project manager might be authorized to approve budget reallocations up to a threshold, beyond which the governance committee intervenes, and integrated platforms. Real-time data sharing supports collaborative decision-making across dispersed teams. 3 further recommendations: use scenario analysis to anticipate change and develop contingency plans. Maintain dynamic risk registers, updated continuously and linked to governance actions. And encourage a culture of learning with feedback loops that refine governance practice over time. Stakeholder engagement is indispensable here. Diverse stakeholders often hold competing interests, varying levels of influence, and different communication preferences. A structured engagement plan identifies all relevant parties, assesses their interests and influence, and defines a tailored approach for each. Government regulators may require formal reporting and compliance documentation. Community groups might benefit more from interactive forums and transparent updates. 4 practical steps. Map stakeholders comprehensively, using tools such as power interest grids to prioritize where effort goes. Develop customized communication plans that align messages and channels with real needs. Facilitate two-way communication, encouraging feedback and dialogue rather than one-way dissemination. And monitor engagement effectiveness, using surveys or feedback sessions. A central communication hub, supported by digital tools, improves information flow and reduces misunderstanding. And involving stakeholders directly in governance, through advisory committees or working groups, fosters ownership. It surfaces concerns early, and it makes consensus easier to reach. Risk management is a cornerstone of complex project governance. The uncertainty is high, and the potential impact of adverse events is significant. The effective approach embeds risk management activities within governance processes rather than treating them as a separate function. That integration is what makes timely escalation possible. 4 recommendations: define clear risk roles, assigning owners, and clarifying responsibilities. Embed risk discussions in governance meetings as a standing agenda item. Use risk dashboards to visualize status and trends for decision makers, and promote a risk-aware culture where reporting a risk is encouraged rather than penalized. Structurally, a risk governance committee oversees risk policy, monitors exposure, and approves mitigation strategies. It should include representatives from key stakeholder groups so the perspectives are comprehensive. Risk registers need to be living documents, updated regularly and linked to milestones and governance reviews. Risk appetite and tolerance levels should be clearly defined to guide decision thresholds. And where deeper insight is needed, quantitative risk analysis, Monte Carlo simulation, and risk-adjusted performance metrics support prioritization. Performance measurement is what shows whether governance is delivering value. Clear metrics and accountability mechanisms let you monitor progress, identify deviations, and correct course promptly. Key performance indicators should align with both project goals and governance objectives. Schedule adherence, budget variance, quality standards, stakeholder satisfaction, and the effectiveness of risk mitigation. A balanced scorecard approach works well because it captures financial, operational, and stakeholder dimensions in one view. On enforcement, 4 things matter. Set SMART KPIs: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Implement real-time monitoring tools so management can be proactive. Establish escalation protocols that define what happens when performance slips, and use the performance data itself to refine governance processes. Accountability is reinforced through transparent reporting and through clearly defined consequences for shortfalls. Decision makers need to be held responsible for their areas. Regular audits and independent reviews then provide an objective assessment of whether governance is actually working. Complex projects often benefit from external expertise alongside internal capability. Advisory work brings objective insight, specialized knowledge, and methodologies already proven elsewhere. That support typically covers 4 areas: designing customized governance models, facilitating stakeholder engagement and conflict resolution, enhancing risk management practices, and implementing performance measurement systems. Used well, external expertise accelerates governance maturity and builds confidence in managing the most demanding initiatives. To bring it together, leading strategies for complex project governance come down to 5 things: establishing tailored frameworks, embracing adaptability, engaging stakeholders effectively, integrating risk management, enforcing performance accountability, supported by expert advisory where it's needed. These let organizations govern their most demanding projects with precision and confidence. You can find more of our work at our website. Thanks for your time.